So what is the deal with Wilhelm? Well, Wilhelm is a human male neutral evil carpenter bard. His disposition is disdain, and he's rich. He's got piercings, and his high abilities are dexterity. I'm laughing just because he's so great already. I'm having way too much fun with these two already. Like, they might need their own series. They might need their own series, just Giselle and Wilhelm. I don't know, it might be like 2 episodes and then they get, eaten by a dragon, but we'll see. Welcome back to EpicSolo for the first in our new video series, Behind the DM Screen. And so the purpose of this video series is to do just that. We're going to take you, the viewer, behind the DM screen. And I'm going to show you how I play EpicSolo, how I play a solo RPG. Another reason we're doing this series is in some amazing advice I received from Trevor Duvall of Me, Myself, and I. And do yourself a favor. If you have not seen that channel, go check it out right now. I'm going to put a link up. An absolute master at his craft, a phenomenal voice actor, and someone who's really able to demonstrate and capture just how much fun it can be to play an RPG solo. But then make sure you come back. What was that advice? I sound like Fizzband. Oh yes, that advice was be your own audience. And in rewatching some of the earlier episodes, I noticed there was some content I really enjoyed. And then there was some stuff where I'm like, this is boring. The content I really gravitated towards was the interaction between Malfak and the NPCs, the narration, the story. I found myself being very immersed in this world that we're creating. And then when I have to go into Dungeon Master mode, it breaks the immersion and it's like, oh gosh, here we go. Let's get back to the action here. What I'm hoping to do with this series is just that. We're going to take you behind the scenes in EpicSolo, and I'm going to show you how I create these characters, where the NPCs come from, some of the tools that I'm using, like the Mythic GM Emulator, the Solo Adventures Toolbox. And we're going to do that sort of stuff on this channel because it's very interesting. It's a lot of fun, but it does break the immersion. And so that's the idea. All right, so let's get into some solo dungeon mastering. So we've got 5 steps to get started. We're going to award experience points. We're going to level up Malfak to level 2. We're going to roll for the red cap treasure hoard in the Dungeon Master's Guide. We're going to create our prisoner NPCs using the Solo Adventures Toolbox and the Dungeon Master's Guide. And then we're going to set up scene 4. All right, so step 1, we're going to award experience points. We're going to give Malfak 50 for defeating the 2 goblins. Now, you might be saying, yeah, well, the kobolds did all the work, and you are absolutely correct. They put in a lot of work, but we're still taking the experience points and some of the treasure. And so 50 for the 2 goblins, and then we're going to award him 100 for completing the Thread Broken Treaty, for a total of 150, putting Malfak at 500 experience points. We're going to level up. We could have leveled up last session, but we were kind of in the middle of a session, and I'm like, nah, it was more exciting. It was more exciting going into that one at level 1. And so now we are going to take our second level. All right, step 2, time to level up Malfak. Who doesn't love to level up? And so Malfak is now a level 2 sorcerer. That's going to give us Font of Magic and 2 sorcery points. We're also going to learn a new spell. We're going to go with an old standby that we have been using in various iterations of Malfak since 2nd edition. So we're going to choose Burning Hands. I like the idea that as we are rolling around often by ourselves, if somebody gets in a little close, look out, burn their face and their clothes. And so, yeah, Burning Hands is our new spell. We're going to get a new spell slot. So we've got 3. All right, so here we go. Big moment. We're going to roll hard. We're not taking the 4 hit dice. We're going to roll for it. And so let's hope we get something good. So hit dice for Malfak at level 2, D6 plus 2. Ooh, we'll take it. All right, so 15 maximum hit points. I like that. See, roll the dice. So much more fun and scary. Step 3, we're going to be rolling for the treasure hoard that we found at the Red Cap Pirates camp. And so we're going to be using page 137 of the Dungeon Master's Guide. We do have to split it 50-50 with the kobolds because we said we would. And so that's actually quite generous. We'll take it. But how we determine this is based off of the leader of the group. And so Captain Packlack was a goblin boss, challenge rating 1. So we're going to use the Treasure Hoard Challenge 0 to 4 table. And our first roll is for copper pieces at 66. So I'm counting 22 copper pieces. All right, next roll is going to be for silver pieces. This one, 3d6. 11 silver pieces. All right, next roll is for gold. 2d6. Not bad. 10 gold pieces. Okay, next we're going to roll for gems, art objects, and magic items. And so we'll see, this is a D100 roll. The result is going to determine both the gems and art objects and also potentially any magic items. So let's see. Red Cap Pirates had anything interesting. Ooh, 58. All right, so 50 gold worth of gems. We do have a magic item. Let's see what we got. We're going to roll 1d6 times on the magic items A table. All right, so our first item is going to be Spell Scroll Cantrip. Our second item, Potion of Greater Healing. Not bad. Our third item, Potion of Healing. And our fourth item, a 1. It looks a lot more exciting than it is. Another Potion of Healing, not bad at all. All right, so here's how it all breaks down. So Malfak's going to take 11 copper pieces, 5 silver pieces, 30 in gold. He's going to take the Scroll of Minor Illusion and 1 of the Potions of Healing. And so the kobolds will take everything else, and that is how we split the treasure hoard. All right. Step 4 is going to be something I've been very excited about here. We're going to create our prisoner NPCs. And so to do so, we're going to be utilizing the Solo Adventures Toolbox, Chapter 13, page 98. And we're also going to be using the Dungeon Master's Guide, Chapter 4, page 89. And the reason why we're creating 2, Scene 5, we rolled an exceptional yes when we asked the question, are there any prisoners at the camp? And so the exceptional yes means not only was there a prisoner, but there were 2. And so we're going to roll for both of our NPCs right now. All right, so using the NPC generator from the Solo Adventures Toolbox, we're going to roll a D100 for the race of our first NPC. 17, it's a human. Next is 3 D100 rolls on the alignment, profession, and gender table. And we'll start with gender first. And so our human is a female. Next, we'll roll for alignment. 33. True neutral. And last, we're going to roll for profession. And so we're going to have a tradesperson, merchant, artisan, or a professional. And so we'll check the next table out and roll D100. We've got ourselves a petty thief. How about that? That makes sense. Now we're going to roll a D12 to determine what class our petty thief is. I mean, it would make sense it was rogue. It's going to be really weird if it's paladin. Maybe they're reformed. We'll see. All right, here we go. Wizard. Ooh. For level, we're just going to choose a level 2. We're going to keep our NPCs at the same level as our party, as Malfak. And so that's going to bring us to disposition. Our human female petty thief wizard, their disposition is disgusted. Okay, interesting. And now for economic status. Royalty level wealth. Oh, I love it. So we've got this human female true neutral petty thief who's a wizard. She's disgusted. And she's royalty level wealth. This is awesome. I'm getting that Hall & Oates song, Rich Girl, in my head, and I think I'm getting a concept. I love it. All right, and so now I'm going to roll for the rest of the character information in the Dungeon Master's Guide. And so we'll take care of that, and then I'll be right back to show you what we rolled. Because she's a rich girl, and she gone too far, got stuck on the island, she's a wizard. She can't get off with the old man's money. Captured by goblins, that ain't funny. Listen, if you want to shut the channel off right now, you go right ahead. But if you are here for that kind of content, if that's what you're here for, to hear a grown man sing parody Hall & Oates songs about his new NPC character he's excited about, then this, my friends, is the channel for you. Let's go. We're going to give her a name. And so Xanathar's Guide to Everything. We're going to pick an English name. Her name is Giselle. I love it. Giselle, perfect name. Our human, female, true neutral, petty thief wizard is disgusted, even though she has royalty level wealth. She's got a nervous eye twitch. Her high abilities, charisma, low constitution. Her talent, she's unbelievably lucky. I love that. Her mannerisms, she stares into the distance. She is hot-tempered. Her ideals are moderation and nation. And she is loyal to a benefactor, patron, or employer. She enjoys decadent pleasures. And so I'm getting a great idea of who Giselle is. Let's roll our next NPC. So now that you've seen the process, I'm going to streamline it for our next NPC. We'll go ahead and roll, and then we'll come back and take a look. And I hope you're getting a sense of just how strong the NPC creation process is when using the Solo Adventures Toolbox and the Dungeon Master's Guide together. They really work well together. They don't really step on each other's toes, and they really do a great job of making some extremely rich and interesting characters. So let's roll and meet our second NPC prisoner. All right, so this guy's just about as great. So let's give him a name. Wilhelm is his name. Wilhelm. Oh my gosh, I love these two. We're going to have a lot of fun. All right, so what is the deal with Wilhelm? Well, Wilhelm is a human male neutral evil carpenter bard. His disposition is disdain, and he's rich. He's got piercings, and his high abilities are dexterity. I'm laughing just because he's so great already. His high abilities, dexterity, his low abilities, wisdom. He plays a musical instrument. I mean, the dice just, are they listening? It's like when you're like, hey, is my phone listening to me? Are these dice listening? He bites his fingernails. He's irritable. His ideals are people and might. He's protective over a sentimental keepsake. And he enjoys decadent pleasures, just like his friend Giselle. And so, oh my God, Wilhelm, he's such a jerk. But he thinks he's the world's greatest bard. His music is so much better than your music. And Giselle's like, yeah. She's not like necessarily his groupie, because I think she's like the princess. I mean, she is royal. She has royalty level wealth, and Wilhelm is like her rich boy toy. And so how did they get here? Oh, these are the questions that we need to ask the fate chart immediately. I love these two already. And with Malfak, it's just going to be debauchery. I don't even know. It might be the next episode might be the last episode. It's awesome. Like, I seriously just want to spend some time talking about Giselle and Wilhelm. Like, their voices just ring clear in my mind, and I cannot wait for them to meet Malfak. How did they get here? This is the burning question, is it not? And so they're these rich, royal, spoiled brats, basically. Let's just call it what it is, right? They're just spoiled brats, and they end up getting captured by these goblins. But what are they doing on this island? You know? Who knows? Like, maybe Giselle is trying to go somewhere, like to like a raging party on like a great continent somewhere. And Wilhelm was along for the ride because he just loves to party. And so, how did they get here? All right, with no further ado, we need to go to the fate chart. What is going on? I just want to talk like Wilhelm. I know, right? Oh, these two might. I'm sorry. I'm having way too much fun with these two already. Like, they might need their own series. They might need their own series, just Giselle and Wilhelm. I don't know. It might be like 2 episodes, and then they get, eaten by a dragon, but we'll see. All right, so on to step 5, our final step here in preparation for episode 6, scene 4, preparation. We're going to start with a simple question for the fate chart. We want to know, are Giselle and Wilhelm part of Malfak's crew? And we're going to say the odds are impossible. They are just, there's no way that they're part of his crew, but we have to ask. And so let's see what the fate chart says. 97. That's an extreme no. Okay, so we're going to have to interpret the extreme no. Down the rabbit hole we go, because there is only one logical explanation as to why, based on that exceptional no, and that is that not only are Giselle and Wilhelm not part of Malfak's crew, but they were present when his ship was attacked by the North Cove pirates. And so the next question is going to be, are Giselle and Wilhelm North Cove pirates? Now, hang in there with me, because thanks to Tana Pigeon, the author of the Mythic GM Emulator, we need to use context and logic here, because it's not likely that they would be North Cove pirates, because they're prisoners of Captain Packlack and the goblins. And we know that Captain Packlack is loyal to Captain Rick and the North Cove pirates. So it is very unlikely. We're going to find out, and then we're going to ask the question. Are Giselle and Wilhelm North Cove pirates? And the odds are very unlikely. And so, no, they are not North Cove pirates. So the next thing I'm going to do here is something I've been doing more often, and that is to ask a how or why question of the fate chart. And when you ask a yes question, it's a lot different. You're working with odds and probability. But when you have a how or a why question, here's a little hack for you. This is really simple. What I like to do is to just simply ask the question and then use the event meaning action and event meaning subject to arrive at the conclusion. And so we're going to ask, how did Giselle and Wilhelm become prisoners of the Red Cap pirates? And so we'll roll first for an action, extravagance, and now we're going to roll for the subject, art. I mean, the dice write the story. I hope someday I can put this in a book. And I might have to take all this down, because they're going to be like, that you wrote the story from rolling dice? It's like, hey, it worked for Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. I mean, come on. This is just too good. So our interpretation is this. Giselle and Wilhelm were captured by the Red Cap pirates after coming to the island in search of treasure, extravagant art, after hearing tales that pirates hide their treasure on the island. And you might wonder, why do you spend so much time rolling for these characters? And it's not just to role play them, it's to help tell the story. Because we know that Giselle's profession is that she is a petty thief. We also know that her flaw is that she enjoys decadent pleasures. So does Wilhelm. And so they're both rich. And so what we have are some treasure seekers, some thrill hunters. And we also know, this is important, there's a link here, because we know that they were present when Malfak's ship was attacked. We know that they're not North Cove pirates. And so what were they doing on the boat? Were they stowaways? That's pretty likely. And so I think we need to answer that question. Were Giselle and Wilhelm stowaways on the pirate ship that attacked Malfak's ship? And the odds are very likely. 15. Exceptional yes. Our interpretation of this one is that not only were Giselle and Wilhelm stowaways, the North Cove pirates were completely unaware of their presence. And so they stowed away on their ship. They were there during the attack, but they escaped once they got to the island completely undetected with their little treasure map or whatever. And so this gives us a ton of information. This gives me, the DM, a lot of information to work with. And so Malfak has no idea. We're going to have to see what he can learn through the dialogue and through his skills. But right now, we've got so much story to work with. And I think I only have one more thing to do to set up scene 4. And that's going to be to roll against the fate chart to see if the scene is modified. Let's update our adventure notes, because we are on scene 4. We've been through a lot. And so we've condensed and updated our notes. And so Malfak's ship is attacked by pirates. He is left for dead and is stranded on an unknown island. He is captured by kobolds, but makes an alliance with their chief. Malfak and the kobolds attack the Red Cap pirates, and their leader, Captain Packlack, is taken prisoner. And while searching the Red Cap's camp, Malfak finds 2 prisoners. And so that's where we're at. So scene 4, our setup is after the attack on the Red Caps. Malfak searches their camp and finds 2 prisoners inside a ramshackle building near the seashore. And so the next step is to roll 1d10 against chaos, which is at 6, to see if the setup is modified as an altered scene, odd, or an interrupt even. And so if the number on our roll, the result is 6 or less, it's going to be a modified scene. So here we go. It is 8. And so it is not modified. And so we're going to begin scene 6, entering the ramshackle building near the seashore. And Malfak doesn't know, but you and I know. You and I know we're about to meet Giselle and Wilhelm. And I cannot wait. All right, that'll do it for our first Behind the DM Screen episode. And so did you have fun? I had a blast. See, I love this side of the screen. It is a blast to create the NPCs and to ask the questions and to build the story and to create the scene. It's just as enjoyable as the action, but I do see value in separating these sessions because I'm having way more fun just being able to dedicate the time to setting up the story. And I think I'll have just as much fun dedicating the time to telling the story. And so I see a lot of value in that. And so we'll see how it goes. One thing you can expect for the next session, and you know how you know the difference? The logo for the DM session? You got it. That's right. The behind the screen logo, you notice it's green. And so the next session you'll see, the next episode you'll see is going to be our red logo. And that means it is story time, narration time. It is dialogue time. And so we're going to hope that we can keep that story immersive and entertaining. And something else, that's right, I learned how to use DaVinci Resolve. I'm learning how. And so I really hope that I'm able to present a better story by being able to show you some of the checks and things that are happening without stopping the action. And so keep a lookout for that. If you want to know what's happening behind the scenes, you'll see it on the screen. But we're going to keep the action flowing, and I hope that we can tell a great story because I am excited for episode 6 now that we know who Giselle and Wilhelm are. And I hope you are excited too. See, I'm going to release this episode before we release the next episode because I want people to know what's happening. And keep in mind, once the camera starts rolling, I don't really know what's going to happen. That's part of the fun. This is all just set up. And we're setting up these characters and these NPCs, and we know a lot about them, but we don't know what's going to happen once Malfak starts opening his mouth. And so I'm just as surprised as you are. And so thank you again. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you have subscribed, if you've taken the time to like or share any of the videos, it's super inspiring. And if you're having half as much fun watching as I am creating this content, then we're doing something awesome together. So I will see you soon. And until then, remember, you must gather your party before venturing forth. Yes, you are correct. Unless you're playing EpicSolo.